One day,
I know, what did you try?
Up here, sir.
Hey,
Morning, sir.
One man over there, one over there, you take crop, right? What did you try? Can you get it?
How close Region 10 is to his heart and to the PPPC administration. So, and this is also a testimony that our war in Guyana is not just a talk, but it's a lifestyle, it's an action. And I would like to say a very special welcome to all of you that are here this morning. We have a number of ministers who have joined us and joined the president this morning. Minister Hugh Todd, who is a Lindener and also who's been doing political work in the region as well, is here, and he will make some remarks to you shortly. Then I have my colleague, Minister Deodat Indar, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, who have been here with me doing a number of things, and he'll be making some remarks. And then we have Minister Charles Ramson, the Minister of Youth, Sport, and Culture. The President just made a stop at the Mackenzie Sports Club ground, which can be known as Mackenzie Stadium, to look at the progress, and Minister Ramson will give you some updates. And then we have the man that Linden has been searching out very, very often, the Minister of Housing and Water, Minister Colin Crowell, because the desire of every Lindener is to participate in that 50,000 families getting their house lot. And they've been doing a great job in accelerating that process here in Region 10. And we just want to acknowledge that. Our REO, Dwight John, and our party coordinator and Prime Minister representative and other leaders in the community, we want to recognize you as well, the people who have been here working the ground, and especially we want to say good morning to the people of Victory Valley. So the President will address you, and then we'll have an engagement, but we'll now have remarks in the order of the ministers that I've mentioned: Minister Todd, then Minister Indar, Minister Ramson, then Minister Colin Crowe. Please help me receive your own Lindener and brother, Minister Hugh Todd.
Thank you, residents of Victory Valley. A pleasant good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. So when the president appointed me as a minister within his cabinet, and he was assigning political responsibilities, he mentioned to me he wanted me to start working in Linden. And he made specific reference to Victory Valley. He said, I want you to start working in Victory Valley, because Victory Valley is very dear to me. And I couldn't understand why. 2 years after, I found out that the president visited Victory Valley several times during his break, during school, because he has an aunt living in Victory Valley and cousins and relatives. So this is home to His Excellency the President. Linden is home. It's home. And why do I say that? I say that to say that the president is the president for all of Guyana. He has traversed the length and breadth of this country. He is bonded throughout the communities of this great nation of ours. And there's no other leader that can give you the kind of gentle touch, care, and leadership that you so deserve at this point in time. When you listen to the president, he often speaks about humanity. He talks about building a one Guyana that is centered around the individual. So everything you see that the president ascribes to, whether it's infrastructural work, whether it's on healthcare, whether it's on education, whether it's social assistance or grants, it is designed to uplift everyone, everyone in Guyana, including the people in Victory Valley and the rest of Linden. But let me tell you why Victory Valley is so important. This is a very small, knitted community that is very resilient. And as the president mentioned, he is not going to leave anyone behind. No one. No one behind. And if we can get it right in Victory Valley, we can get it right in Linden, we can get it right in Guyana, and we'll make Guyana a very prosperous and great future, not only for you, the youths in Victory Valley, and for those seniors, but for those who are yet to come. So we applaud His Excellency the President. We thank you for his vision. We thank you for his leadership. We thank you for his gentle touch. But more importantly, we thank him for winning hearts and minds. And this is what it's about. It's about winning hearts and minds for a better future, for a better Guyana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Todd. Minister Deodatindar will now make some remarks. Please, let's give him a Linden welcome.
Thank you, my brother. Mr. President, fellow colleague ministers. You know, it's a Sunday, as Bishop says, the first Sunday, in the year, and most times, we end up in church. So I'll start by saying, there's a story in the Bible when Jesus went to Samaria and he stopped at a well and meet a lady down there. Remember that story? Yes. Okay. Well, that story, one of the principles of this story, there are many coming out of that, but one of them is that he woke up early in the morning. Before the board tell your wife good morning. And Jesus went out there. Yes. So that principle of getting up early and getting it done before everybody also came to me when I was studying management. I was in class and the people in the UK said, it was in London, and the people said, who's the first man to walk on the moon? The whole class jumped up and said, Neil Armstrong. The lecturer said, who's the second? Watching wrong for answers. So who's the third? Watching wrong for answers. The principle is that people remember the first, they remember who went there early. This morning, none other than the president and his colleague and his cabinet ministers are out here to serve. Same principle that came out when Jesus Christ was going through Samaria to the well, same principle, to come and serve, but do it early in the morning. That's why we're here. Now, I just wanted to reflect a little on the sector that myself and Minister Edghill. Right here, I think we came and signed those contracts, or a little more up there. When the president came here, I had contractors here. Them Rasta boys and them came together and them men built some road faster than anybody else I ever seen build concrete roads. And of the quality that was required. President came here the last time, he said, we're doing this. In a matter of days, we end up putting $85 million in the hands of the people in this community. In a matter of days. And from then to now, from the time he took office to now, this community, Victory Valley and the surrounding community, we had about 20 projects valued about $155 million. that money went directly into the residents of this community. But I want to make the point too, that only recently, apart from all of the works we've been doing all the time, only recently, we have signed 535 contracts in Region 10. And all 535 contractors was from Region 10. So what we have done is put 7.6 billion Guyanese dollars in the hands of Region 10 residents. And that alone can tell you where the heart of the PPP is. So I want to say that to you. But I also want to say that if any contractor here would, in Linden or in Linden proper, would hire Lindeners or hire folks from Region 10, on average to build a road, minimum you might need about 5 persons. You're talking about 2,600 people to be employed in those projects. 2,600 persons to be employed in those projects. And I want to let you know that the knock-on effect is to make sure that everybody live in this country that is expanding, everybody prosper in it. And we are doing it under a young man named Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. Thank you very much.
Minister Indar, you know, our political opponents and the people who admire the PPP see greatly in Linden. One of the things they like to say is, people need jobs, people need jobs, people need jobs. But today, if we examine the record of how many jobs they created when they were in government for 5 years, as compared to the jobs that we have created in just the 4 years that we have, the two things cannot be compared. More Lindeners are meaningfully engaged and at work since the glory days of bauxite. There's never been a time like now for Lindeners. And this is not guesswork. This is as a result of strategic policy formulation. When President Ali and his cabinet sits to discuss Guyana, we have to do strategic things to ensure that the people in all parts of Guyana participate and benefit. So I think you might want to put your hands together one more time for job creation. Job creation, the big issue, job creation in Region 10. Minister Charles Ramson, the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports. Please receive Minister Ramson.
Linden, good morning. I want you to put your hands together. A special round of applause for the best president in the world. Now, some people might turn around and say, how can I justify that? How can I justify that? Not only is our country growing at the fastest rate in terms of just the numbers, we're showing numbers on paper is kind of fools you sometimes. But when you look at the rate of development around this country, this can only be led by somebody who has a clear vision of where he wants to take the country and how he wants to do it, which is by bringing everybody with us. Because alone, he can go even faster. But he wants to do this with everyone. With everyone. And that's why you are here. Now, I also have to speak some hard truths. Because when the truth comes, falsehood runs. That is the fact. The President, His Excellency, when he decided to have our first cabinet outreach, you know where it was? right here in Linden and all around Region 10. Here is the hard truth. How many cabinet outreaches you had in the 5 years prior to the greatest president in the world? It was Sharon Das who led that cabinet outreach, caused the cabinet outreach to come to Linden. Nobody forced His Excellency to make that decision to come here. In fact, I want to ask you how many times the previous president, David Granger, came to Victory Valley. You know when you pad up, you know when you're going to bat, and you pad up and you're going out there, you're walking out because you think you're going to make a run. And the pace to come in and do so, swing, knock out your off stick. And you walk back in, you don't score no run, you say you get a duck. Well, that's how many times David Granger came here in Victory Valley. Now, I'm not here only to tell you about all the grand things that we're doing, because it's about leadership. Leadership means that you have to take people somewhere. You have to go somewhere. Government has a responsibility. Our responsibility is to lead us somewhere, but there are a myriad of responsibilities that forms sub-responsibilities in that overall responsibility of us as a government. But it means, as a responsibility, it means that we must respond with ability. When you parse the word, respond with ability. That is what we have been doing. So when we come here to say, when Minister Indar and Minister Edgel speaks about the roads that have been built here by people in Victory Valley, it is because the demand was that you needed the road to be done. Now, when we went to Parliament and said we wanted a heavy infrastructure development program, and the current opposition says we are spending too much on infrastructure, they're saying we should not give you that work. That's what they're saying. Because when we are spending on infrastructure, you get the work. It is you get the work. People who hitherto or before did not even contemplate doing that kind of work, they took that opportunity. When we gave people right here that opportunity, we took a chance with many persons because they didn't have the experience. They didn't have the experience, but it was at a scale that they could do it, and at the same time, we believed in them. We supervised, but we believed in them, because that is how a country must grow. How are you going to develop? How are you going to develop? Development is not just about the buildings, but it's also about who's building the buildings and the roads and the bridges and the schools and the hospitals and the sports grounds and the stadiums. Now, I also want to say that for Linden here, we know you love sport. Government made a commitment that we are going to make the biggest investment in sport in this region. You are not getting one, but two world-class international stadiums. And I want to say this because many times people don't know the backstory. And I don't speak about the backstory because I don't have time to waste. I have things to do. And I am not a crier and I'm not a complainer. Nobody would ever come and hear me complain about things. But I also want you to know the backstory of how we got here. Because on the Mackenzie side, where we just came from, and it's a beautiful, beautiful facility that's shaping up. Honestly, when you go there, it's breathtaking. And by middle of this year, we are going to be ready to open that facility. But I want you to know the fight down that we had. And they had so many persons here that are aware. We don't speak about it much. But we had to fight for development for Linden. We had to fight for development for Linden. Protests and locking doors and all kinds of stuff that we had to fight to develop that area. They wanted to hold on to a relic of colonialization. That is what they wanted to hold on to, a relic of colonialization. We are an independent country, free. We have a right to determine our own destiny. But at the same time, we must be able to do what is best for ourselves. It is unfortunate, and I want to take you over to the Bay Rock side, because the leaders of the opposition side were spreading rumors all around Linden and even going on international talk shows and going to America and saying that the People's Progressive Party government stopped that project because we didn't want to do it for Linden because it was a APNU AFC support area and mainly Afro-Guyanese. That is what they told people. Meanwhile, every single year in the budgets, we allocated sums for that project to be continued. In fact, I had to design projects personally, so that they can be completed because they never left me any plans for completion. Never left me any plans for completion. And I will challenge them to provide those plans. And in fact, I want to say to you that they never even paid. They never even procured and paid for the synthetic material that you see sitting out there. We paid 1 million euros for that synthetic material. So when they were coming up here and saying that they were going to complete a synthetic track in 2018, because you remember, I will pull up the articles, they're online. They said that they would complete it in 2018. They said they would complete it in 2019. They said they would complete it in 2020, and it was all lies. It was all lies. Now, how can I say that it was lies? Because they never paid for the synthetic material. We paid for that in 2021. It wasn't even ready to be purchased. It was 2021. What does that say to you? It says to you that you have to know who you're listening to. You have to know who you're listening to, because they are upset right now that you are here. Even though you being here is in your own interest. Because you're getting the right information, and at the same time you're getting the opportunities to build yourself and your family and your community and your nation and your civilization. Here's what I will also say, because I will deal with all of the detractors at the appropriate time. I'm putting you on notice. I'm putting all of the detractors, and I'm putting all of the persons who attempted to stop those projects and spread rumors. I will deal with you at the appropriate time. Right now I'm still making sure that the projects are going in the right direction so that they complete on time. I want to see that. That is my job. I want to make sure that I get that completed, and it's going. And at the appropriate time, I will come and deal with all of them. I've heard a whole bunch of comments, and people send me lives from all around the place. I will deal with you. So, and we'll deal with you condignly too. Don't think that you could say things and I can't say back. Don't think you could write things and I can't write back. Because as I said to you, when truth comes, falsehood runs. I want to conclude by saying no amount of opposition or detractors or rumor mongering or etc. will ever stop us from doing what we are required to do and leading this country under His Excellency President Irfan Ali and the People's Progressive Party government. No amount. And I would like to say it has been a privilege and an honor to be able to come into these communities. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Every time that I've come to Linden, you've always welcomed me. Wherever I go, you've always welcomed me. You've always welcomed us. You've given me the opportunity and the space and the support to execute all of the things that we said that we would do, and you have seen those things come to pass, which means that we honor our word. And that is the commitment, the philosophy of President Irfan Ali and the People's Progressive Party. Thank you very much.
Not just a president, but he's a team leader. You know, Dr. Miles Monroe say, if you are leading and there's nobody behind you, you're just taking a walk. That's how brutal he was in his writings. Because you could name yourself as a leader, but when you look back, and nobody there following you, you're just taking a walk. You're taking a morning exercise. But in President Ali, he has taken the time to build teams. So whenever you see any one of us in a community, in a village, in the river, we are not there as individuals. We are there as Team PPPC, led by President Irfan Ali. So at this time, I will invite the Honorable Colin Crowell. The calling your name in Linden, Colin. The calling your name Colin.
Victory Valley, Linden, good morning. The pleasure is mine to join our president, and I want you to give him a rounding welcome here to Victory Valley. And we've heard the example, and I want to recognize my colleague ministers and some of the other officers here. We've heard examples of what our government is doing for the people of Guyana. And it don't matter where people live. It don't matter the texture of our skin. It don't matter our political persuasion. There is one thing our president has charged all of us to do, and that is to work hard every single day that we must make the lives of our people of Guyana better. That is what he has charged us to do. So I'll speak briefly on housing, but you will recall, you've given a big round of applause to myself, but you have to give a bigger round of applause because you know the drive and the initiative to ensure that we push home ownership in Region 10. Our president, the former Minister of Housing and Water, played a major role in ensuring that happened. So his coming to Region 10 and Linden didn't just stop when he came from his boyhood days, but it continued continuously when he was at Ministry of Finance as Minister of Housing. You have here in Region 10 people who say they so love the people of Linden. They so love the people of Region 10. Well, first of all, you had a leader for a period of time who so felt that they had the transport to the people of Linden that you had to show up and you're taking a picture with cardboard. You so had a minister who is right here from Region 10 and was assigned responsibility for housing. And you were asked, what did they do during that period? I'll give you some examples. Our president launched a campaign, and that campaign to housing it's called Operation Cleanup. And when we talk about this Operation Cleanup, we're not talking about just brushing the grass and cleaning the area. We're talking about working diligently with every area and as far as possible to ensure people have the ownership of the piece of land that they occupy. That is what we're talking about. And Region 10, no exception. And so instead of encouraging people to do the wrong things, because these very people that said they love the people of Linden were the very people who encouraged Lindeners to squat and take up land anywhere and did nothing. They encouraged people to do the wrong things. And so when we had the situation at Fitzhope, where 432 of your fellow Lindeners were allocated, they encouraged persons to block the entrance so that the infrastructure work could not be done. Is that people who really care about Linden? Is that really? What have we done? The very Fitzhope, in addition to allocating lots, we have regularized a portion of Fitzhope, notwithstanding it was encouraged. And as I speak, over 442 lots have been regularized where persons can receive their ownership. But we didn't do that alone. Another area, Blueberry Hill, over 300 lots have been regularized, and the citizens there have a title for the land that they occupy. So in 2024 alone, in Region 10, we have given titles to over 750 persons in areas that we have regularized. In Region 10 alone, and recognizing that we have to find lands, because lands they have competing interests. There are other sectors that require lands. We were able to get additional land in Wismar. And you recall 2 months ago or a month and a half ago, we were right near here, where we've started the allocations for the new area in Wismar. So as I speak, Region 10, in 4 years, your PBPC government has allocated over 1,600 lots in Region 10. The very people that said they love Linden and they so care for the people of Linden. For 5 years, less than 300 allocations, and the people did not have their document for signal ownership. No area, and I'm going to repeat this, no area in 5 years between 2015 to 2020 has been regularized in region number 10. None. You know what your PVPC government will do this year? We have 10 areas that and this is a minimum because before today, I guess the president might be giving us more work. So we have 10 areas that we have identified as priority. And I list them for you. Let's go. Siberian, Silver Hill, Comaka, New Harden, West Watuka, Block E and F of Kansas City, Green Valley, Block F, Plantation Wismar of also known as West Watuka, Amelia's Ward, Block 43. And I said 10, but it's 11, and I tune. But if you just check over here, it's 10. A minimum of 800 lots as priority to be regularized before the first half of this year in 2025. And we will not stop there. This week, our team from housing has to make a presentation to our president. And you know what is that presentation? To show how we can accomplish this 2025 to clear all the arrears of the pending applicants in Linden to find land to do so. That is the presentation we have to make this week. So the point here, Lindeners, is that we want everyone to have a comfortable life. And I didn't speak about the investments. I'll leave that for our president. But in all of these areas, it costs money to develop the land, the area, the drainage, the infrastructure work. And just to say briefly on water, region number 10 is the only region that we have 100% treated water that is being delivered to the households. We have a charge for the entire coastline that by minimum 90%, which we're hoping to achieve before 2025. Not hoping, we will achieve minimum 90% on the entire coastline to ensure all are receiving treated water to their households. That is also testimony of ensuring we all live a better quality of life. And that is what your president is concerned. So I thank you here. I'll stop here for now. I thank you so much for coming out. Here, my background information for Victory Valley would have shown that sometime in the past, an occupational survey, a block occupational survey, was done by Guyana Lands and Survey Commission. Many of them, back then, many of the persons were offered lots in the 1 mile extension area. Some took up, not all. But recognizing, and this is over a decade ago, but recognizing that where we at and how we can develop with technology now and infrastructure, recognizing that, I will want to recommend and we'll discuss it with Public Works for us to do a reassessment of those areas, because there are certain areas in Victory Valley that is very prone to flooding. So those that can move forward and not susceptible to the flooding, we will examine so that we can move towards, from a technical perspective, to have an assessment, and then from a physical perspective to move on to see those that can be regularized to be granted ownership. All right? So thank you so much for coming out, and I know you want to hear from our president, our leader, and thank you very much.
Minister Kroll, it's Sunday, so we are accustomed to sermons on Sunday. You know why these ministers could stand here and speak with that kind of information? Because we are not in that game of race baiting people. We are in the business of serving people. You know, the bullyism and the shame campaign that the big stick that people use on you. You went to the PPP thing. You belong to the PPP thing, and the bullying in the street. Ask them when they come back. What do you do for me? And this morning, you could listen to ministers, and now you'll have a chance to listen to the president, telling you hard facts. They will walk on the new road in your neighborhood, and they're going to come to your gate and put a flyer that said the PPP didn't do nothing for you. You understand what I just said? That is the nature of their politics. Good morning. Good morning, Denise. Where is Denise? You can't follow up them PPP people because they do nothing for you. And then Dennis got to come out and say, hey, you didn't park your car and walk in. You drive to my gate. It's I build the road under the PPPC. And where is John B this morning? Where's John B? Look John B there, guys. Look John B. When they come and tell you, man, you got your friend in you place there, I'll tell you, sir. John B must be able to tell them, what do we are coming with? You are own we. We moving with people who bring in development. The culture of Linden is changing. We have emancipated ourselves from mental slavery, and we are doing what is good for ourselves and our community. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's give our
Respected elders, brothers and sisters of Linden, especially this area that is called Victory Valley. My brethren, I came here not expecting to have a community engagement of this nature. I came here just as thy servant to look at the project, the Wisma Bridge, and to see the plans ahead to ensure that we are on track. And then I came to visit my good brethren, my crew here. And then I was told that there is a gathering that would like to meet. We are in a very historic week. A few days ago, and I want to recognize all the local leaders, Pastor Murray and all the leaders here. I want to say that on the 1st of January, a political movement in our country was created under the umbrella of oneness, under the umbrella of unity, under the umbrella of strength. And that political movement that was created was the People's Progressive Party. That political movement was created to represent all of Guyana. And it is that foundational pillar of creation that continues to guide the work of the People's Progressive Party, that is working in the interest of every Guyanese and all of Guyana. 75 years ago, that political party brought together Chetty Jagan, Forbes Barnum, and external forces who saw through their own lens and through what was good for them, played on the minds of some members of the leadership of the PPP. And they were able to penetrate those minds and divide the PPP and divide our country. We no longer have such external forces who can do this again. But the responsibility falls upon us as a people to recognize that initial cause of deflection. When external forces penetrated the minds of our people to create a divisive society. Today, we have internal forces that continue to use the exploitation of the external force to create a divisive society. I want to say on this day in 2025 that we are going to destroy every such force. That we are going to bury every such force, because no force that seeks to spread hate, division, and destroy our society has a place in the modern transformative Guyana that we are building. That is why I can stand here and openly relate to Figuera. I saw him here earlier, or even Valerie, because my philosophy is that all are invited on board of this ship. This is not an exclusionary ship. This is an inclusive ship that must move forward safely with every member of its crew being part of the journey forward. And that is a philosophy that I have asked my team to embrace. And I have a team in the cabinet and technical workers, engineers that go beyond the call of duty. One of the most energetic cabinet, hardworking. But they're also supported by men and women who come out every day. In less than 4 or 5 hours, I made a call that I'm coming to Linden. But this philosophy of oneness must have some elements that I want us to understand. You know, people ask me, how do you remain calm amidst a lot of ignorance sometimes? And how do you maintain your composure dealing with some of the people that we have to deal with? I have grown over the years to understand the true meaning of my faith, and understanding that in my faith I am taught to walk away from ignorance. You know how many lives can be saved if you walk away from ignorance? There is no gain to confront ignorance. There is absolutely no gain to confront ignorance. Smile at the face of ignorance, because ignorance would never be successful. And that is why I encourage my friend Figuera and even Valerie to look at the reality and to embrace this one Guyana and to walk away from any ignorance that would seek to hold back us as a people. To hold back us as a people. There are many times I will call every member of the society here in Region 10, from ordinary to extraordinary persons, not opposition or government. I call across the board, and many can tell you that. I call because we have the interest of people. Now, we are a political entity. You have never given us the political responsibility here in Linden and Region 10. All we seek is not power. We seek your support so that we can win here and get the political responsibility to show you what good, committed, selfless political leadership can further bring to your region. I'm asking for political responsibility by your support, not on political power. They have the political power. What have they done? There's a difference between political responsibility and political power. And I'll show you, demonstrate to you what political responsibility is. My friends, we seek to build on a foundation of trust. When I came here as president, let me go back. As a young technician, I see many of our young technicians out here. I had the joy of working with then President Jagdeo, Clive Rupchand, Kendall, We came to this region on a cabinet outreach, and we were left in this region for 1 week. You remember? Foresight? 1 week. I remember one night, the then President Jack Dale and team of technicians sat on the culvert and were eating cook-up. And we were left here to spend 1 week as technician to come up with project profiles for investment in this region. When I became president and came to Victory Valley, there were many doubting Thomases. Many of them said, "No, that's a show. Nothing would happen." When we demonstrated that we were leading on a foundation of trust with humility, commitment, oneness, with people at the center, and community focus, the story changed. Some of them said, "Oh, we make they come." Nobody make nobody come here, boss. They don't have that ability. We came because we want to demonstrate to every citizen of this country that we care for each one of you. And we're going to work on regularizing and giving another 1,000 titles to person living here. And we're going to work to find the land so that we can meet the demand. You know, flying over Linden, coming in here today, it's an amazing visual to see the changes that is taking place. But we have to work in Linden not only to expand bauxite, which we are doing, and to look at value creation, but we have to bring long-term sustainable investment also, more investment. And that is why we are marketing Linden for a major tourism investment. Because people come, people spend. People spend, business doing. Business doing, you're growing. You're growing, wealth creating. Simple. Very simple. So my friends, the people focus, the people-centered leadership is what we are about. We don't preach love. We demonstrate love. We showcase love. We believe in love of the people and for the people. And I want to remind us about some of the characteristics of the love I speak of. I'm not speaking about convenient love. I'm not speaking about opportunistic love. I'm not speaking about temporary love. I'm speaking about the love that the good book teaches us about. Love that is not proud. Love that is not boastful. Love that is not proud and boastful, because in this love, we see our responsibility to uplift people. We see our responsibility to change the lives of people. And you can't do that in a boastful and proud manner. Our love that we speak of is respectful. That is why some people even have a problem with me, the amount of hands I shaking and amount of people are hugging. They say, "Why are you smiling with everybody?" Well, my brethren,
If you want to demonstrate a sour outlook to people, the result won't be sweet. So the love I'm speaking about is one that is respectful. One in which we can come into the communities, respect the leaders, work with the leaders. One in which we can reach out to people, respect their needs, respect their culture, respect their identity, and build on that respect. One in which there is dignity. You can shout from on top of the mountain that you love Victory Valley. But how you demonstrate that love? When we build these streets and give you the roads and give you the opportunity to create your own companies and create work that is giving you dignity. That is giving you dignity. And the greatest indignity, when we give you that dignity, is when some of these people will then turn to you and say you're selling out or you're being bought over. So on one hand, they say, oh, no opportunity coming here. And when they see that you have the opportunity, oh, you're selling out, you're being bought over. No. What we are doing in sharing this love is doing it to bring dignity to community, dignity to people. The love that we speak of is one that is joyful. That is why in Independence celebration I came right here and joyfully we cooked together. We ate together. We celebrated together. That is why we're taking national celebrations to different communities across the country, because all of us must experience the beauty of national symbols, national events, and the national identity. It is not cemented in one cornerstone of our country. It must be cemented all across our country. And the golden arrowhead that flies here in Linden since that event is a symbol of that love. So love is joyful. You know, the good book says you must make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Not a resentful noise, not a sour noise, but a joyful noise. And there was a reason for that. There was a reason for that. Because when you're delivered in a church, it's supposed to be a joyful thing. Right, Pastor? When the gates of heaven is open unto you, it's a joyful thing. And the very book tells us about those in authority, and when those in authority do things that create joy for you and your community, then you must be prayerfully joyful for those things. So the love we're talking about is one that is joyful, one that is patient. And this one is serious. Because we give you love with the 100,000, but you got to be patient too. Everybody wanted at the same time. We put out the advertisement. Over the next 10 days, it will be paid out. But everybody wanted on day one. And yes, this is the first time we're embarking on such a massive payout across the country. So there will be kinks. But in showing your love by receiving the 100,000, also show your love for the people who have the responsibility of ensuring it's done properly. Don't cost them up, man. So, development and the pace of development, though very fast, all of this infrastructure an investment we are making, you will see how it's linked to long-term sustainability in the coming years. You will see. You will see how it will stimulate other investment, how it will create new wealth. Because I can tell you, from 2020 to now, there are many hundreds of homes that I can point to in Linden that is either improving, rehabilitating, or being built from scratch. And if you can sit here and consciously tell me you can't see that, may the Lord continue to bless you with good sight. Because if you're denying the gift of God by giving you sight to see, then you're not being thankful for the blessing of sight. It's just the reality. You know, when God gives you, you know, we are created with different talents and gifts. But sometimes when you want to play outside of the talent and gift that you get, you just find yourself in trouble. You know, some people got a gift to be great businessmen and make a lot of money. But when they want to go outside of the fray, kind of problem they put themselves into. You must know the limitation of your gifts. I'm not giving the sermon today. I'm just advising the great bishop and all the pastors here of some thematic areas they may wish to explore. But my friends, the love that I'm speaking about is one that is patient. Because I can assure you, with your patience and commitment, you are going to live to see the linkage of these investments to broader growth and expansion here in Linden. Love must be kind. And if there is, yes, there will be time when, you know, tempers rage in engagement. But if there is anyone that can say to me, they have not seen or felt the kindness of this government in this region and in Linden, something is wrong. Because all of you, many of you have nieces, nephews, or children who between 2015 and 2020 saw money that was given to them taken away from them. And you have seen under this government that money returning to them and increasing every single year. Love is kind. Love is truthful and conscious. But importantly, love must be understood, and in the return of love, we have a responsibility to acknowledge it. That's all. And if you exercise the responsibility to acknowledge the love that we have demonstrated for each family, each of you, every Guyanese, then your conscience shall be your guide, and your vote shall be your mark. My friends, that time is far away, yet not too far. But we will return here in 2026 to continue the story of development under the People's Progressive Party. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Colin told you about housing. let me tell you this. Let me give you some figures here. Since we came into office from 2020 to now, in order to give and deliver to you housing and house lots, we invested more than $5.8 billion here in Linden. More than 600% than the last government invested in all 5 years of their office. We invested $5.8 billion in housing alone. They invested in housing less than $525 million. Who care about your housing needs? This is a demonstration. And don't blame Valerie. She had a minister of finance, minister didn't give she the money. She embraced the wrong philosophy. 100%. But Valerie also was a technician when I was a technician. Under the People's Progressive Party civic government, Valerie was employed as the Linden fund manager right here. Let me tell you, let me give you some other stats. This year alone, in Region 10, under the miscellaneous road program, may not go to the Linden Susdike Highway and Mabura Hill Road as yet. Under the miscellaneous road program, this year alone, we spent $7.6 billion building 535 roads. Almost all of which went to local contractors and local people. Well, if this is not a demonstration of love, something wrong. And this society would have people who would go on radio stations and the newspaper and say nothing is being done in Region 10. And when they go to Region 6, let me show you how divisive they are. The very people will go to Region 6 quietly on the TV station, Dave or Crave or Rave, and they would say, y'all vote for them here. They ain't doing nothing for y'all. They're doing everything in Region 10. They will take these photographs and this meeting and they'll show it on the thing. Look what they're spending in Region 10. We are spending in every region in the interest of every Guyanese. Let me contextualize for you what's really going on. Since 2020 to now, and let me tell you, the Linden Susdike Highway is going to be a modern highway. We're going to connect the Linden Susdike Highway with a new highway all the way to Georgetown. That highway is coming all the way to Land of Canaan. Then we're going to do Silica City. You know what that does for Linden? The value creation, the value of your property, the value of your land here will continue to go up. It will not go down. It is creating viability. It is creating economic expansion. And let me give you the final example, because I know you still have to go to church. Under the Ministry of Public Works, and this is important, from 2020 to now, taking into account the Linden to Mabura Hill Road, because that's important for your economic expansion, because you will become the service hub for the entire hinterland. And the Linden Susdike Highway, which is critical for your trade and commerce. From 2020 to now, those investments total $96 billion. $96 billion. In the whole 5 years under APNU AFC, they spend less than 0.3% of what we are spending in public works for your development. 0.3% of what we are spending. What more can we demonstrate? What more can we demonstrate to you? That's the facts. They can't run from this. They can't hide from this. They can dance between the raindrops. But this is the reality that confronts them. That is why they can say very bold-faced, don't bother with 5 years ago. We don't have to come for that. Bother with now. Well, this is now. I ain't telling about 5 years ago. I'm telling about now. 96 billion. They spend 0.3%. Answer it now, no man. And let me say this to you. Today I came for a very simple task that you expanded by touring out here in such large numbers. This very land that we sit on here, and I stand on, check it back before the end of the year. Because when I came here the last time, and I was cooking with the guys and listening to them, we committed to the building of the boxing gym. And of course, you know, the community center and the facility to train some young people, right? So, on the Men on Mission, where is Morley? You have the design there? You have it on your phone, huh? We have completed the design that will be built here. We're going to employ persons from the community, bring the material in. We're going to make all the blocks right here from the community, right on this land. And together, we're going to build back right here. And the basketball court, when I was walking around at 5:30 a.m. one morning, 5:30 is not a good time for some people. But when I was walking around 5:30 a.m., I kind of, now I'm checking on this thing, really, this 5:30 thing is a time I was used a lot. It's just after prayers, brother. So, 5:30 one morning, we were walking around. Kashif and Shanghai, I can't see it in the back there. Yes, we walked through a basketball court close by. We are going to complete that basketball court. And Minister Todd, over the years, would have launched an interward. Is an interward basketball tournament? The Victory Valley Basketball Tournament. But we want to make it an interward basketball tournament. So I've already asked the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and the Men on Mission to come up with a community plan so we can have our own futsal tournament, our basketball tournament, and the cricket ground is going to be completed, because when that ground, listen, we're doing this grand, you know. The Lord say when you're blessed, give thanks in a joyful way. So we can give thanks when we open those two grounds in a very joyful way. We're going to have an international cricket match on that ground, and we're going to bring some big shot football players. Together, we are stronger. Together, we are better. Apart from each other is not an option. One Guyana is the only option. The unity of our people is the only option. And to effect that option is the People's Progressive Party Civic. And let me say, the People's Progressive Party Civic remains open for everyone who wants to come on board. Every single person who wants to come on board, you have a place with us. Come along on the journey to prosperity, the journey to transformation, the journey of building our one Guyana. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And please take careful note. The land that the president is talking about is right here. So turn to that side, take a picture. So before the year you could get back the next picture.
And let me say this, because you know how we operate. I respect that you have to go to the church and everything, I know that. But I'm leaving an entire team behind that is led by Ejil and the whole technical team. They are going to stay behind. All your issues that you have, your personal issue, they are going to document those issues, right? But I know there's some community leaders who want to speak, so we're going to give at 8 or 9 persons maximum to speak, because I have to respect your time. People here told me they want to go to church, so we're gonna start, but we got to give Victory Valley the first shot.
All around in the country, all out of the country. Yeah, very good man. I know we discussed him Rastaman. Very good Rastaman. And I would like all my fellow citizens to work along with me in the PPPC city government. This area. Yeah, we are moving forward and with one heart, one respect, one joy and love. Let's go together. Don't let me segregate most of this thing. Enough respect. At first, I must say thank you, Mr. President, for visiting our area and implementing so much of different programs that it's a joy for us. It's a new feeling, a new sight, a new everything, and who can't feel it, who can't see it, probably they're in a coma. Yeah. Thanks to the other ministers also from the ministries that visit our areas and making sure that the basketball section is going good, everything is going good. And we must say thanks in advance for our community center. That's main for our area, for our young girls and boys. We need to have programs for us. We need to have programs for the senior citizens. We cannot meet with them because there is not a gathering place. We don't have a facility that we can gather and onward forward. So from this other forward will be another forward. Everybody together, we moving on. We going PPP, PPPC. Let's have your vote, my brother. Thank you.